but those are the main things that got me started. And if y'all follow me, y'all know my motto: we don't need them, they need us. So I'm all about us controlling the board, taking our power back, and stimulating the economies that we directly wish to stimulate, rather than stimulating other people's and wondering why we still at the back end.
That's right.
Oh no, brother, they want to hear you. Whatever's on your mind, you know, you just let them know. Well, how did you get here to this point?
How I got here. All right, so for anybody that don't know my background, I was a 911 dispatcher for 4 years. Bro, one of the biggest things I saw while being in that other world is that a lot of these stages and scenarios are purposely and intentionally set up. So once I started to take note of certain things, like I tell you all the time, like my motto with the workplace is infiltrate, educate, and vacate. Y'all know I'm not against jobs whatsoever, but I want you to start getting jobs for information and not money. I need you to go to the job and steal all the intellectual property you can, invest in yourself at the same time, do your OT, get your hustle on, get your bread up, and then you step out and venture off on your own with the information that you take from the machines. So for me, bro, one of the biggest things I noticed was just the chain of command, the power structure, the brotherhood. Like, I see it all the time on television when things happen with law enforcement. People be in the uproar like why they get off or how they get away. It's a brotherhood. Yeah. So one of the biggest things I tell people too is we have to stop, what's the word I'm looking for? We have to stop antagonizing one another for wanting government jobs. Because we need street dudes that wear gowns and bang gavels. We need street dudes or people who have a relatability to the streets that pull us over here and there, and that can make sure things go a different way and a different outcome than we usually get, bro. So my biggest thing was just infiltration and emulating these systems, but doing it with integrity. Like in-home banking is no different in the way the bank work, but we do it with integrity. So the people in my investment groups, they eat just like I eat. Like we don't eat with the bank. We get 0.8 interest on our money. Their children in college be paid for, and we still be figuring out how to buy uniforms when school starts. Everybody not eating at the table. That's what I tell you all the time, like in the case of the bank versus the people who rich and who poor. Who's using whose money? They're not rich with their own bread, they rich with our bread. So one of my biggest things, y'all, is just, again, studying these systems, assessing these systems, and emulating these systems, but doing it with integrity. So that's what really brought me to this point right here, bro.
Now, I've heard you mention in-home banking for a long time. What exactly is in-home banking?
All right, bro, the simplest way to put it is just, one of the things I was just saying, assessing the system. So I'll give you an example. Matter of fact, I asked somebody in the crowd, anybody here got insurance? All right.
There should be a whole lot more insurance than a lot of people
and before I say this, I'm not anti-insurance. I'm not telling nobody to not get insurance. I'm just giving you an alternative that we use with in-home banking. So if you pay your insurance company maybe $60 a month, right now a pallet of water, I can't remember the numbers perfectly off the top of my head. I made a video on it a while ago. But right now, a whole pallet of water gets you like 78 cases. That's 78 times 30. So we're talking 2,100 bottles of water roughly. If you flip those throughout the month, you would jump back $2,100 off a $500 investment. Which means if you did that for 10 years straight, off a month, we're talking 16. Hold on, bro.
Pull it out. You got to get it right.
So look, this is what we're talking. If you invest, if you made that $500 investment on that pallet, right? Profit-wise, you're gonna jump back $1,600 per month. So we're gonna times 1,600 times 12, 1,600 times 12, times 10 years. You made $192,000 in 10 years off your own muscle. Now this is my issue. I'm not knocking insurance companies, but my only issue with them is that their families profit in the meantime while we wait on a long-term payout. And what I also tell people too, the dangerous thing with insurance is that if your children still don't have any financial literacy, they're gonna blow the money. I tell people all the time, like any amount of money with no plan of action is nothing more than a stimulus package. How many of y'all remember when Obama gave out that bread when he was in office?
Yeah.
Now tell me how many people y'all remember that got that bread, got a business currently right now. They took the bread and went and did something with it. So the point, I know y'all know somebody who can give $1 million right now, and by Friday they're gonna hit you back like, oh man, I went to the dog track, I bought a car, we had a party, I'm back at square A. So, bro, my biggest thing is removing our reliability on those systems. That's the only reason those systems empower. Yeah. I like one of the biggest questions I ask people all the time, like, those systems claim to give us some form of generational wealth and longevity. Cool. By a show of hands, how many of y'all got at least 5 people in your family who currently have generational wealth based off those systems? You can name 5 people in your family. I can name 2, my whole family. So my point is this: if everybody in this room came to my house tomorrow and only 3 of y'all came out by Friday, would y'all encourage y'all children to come to my house on Saturday? No. The common sense, I tell you all the time, like, Common sense and traditionalism are not friends whatsoever. Most of us are doing what we're doing based off traditionalism. But if we use logic and common sense, we wouldn't do that no more.
Well, give him a round of applause.
Just wrapping up, bro, my thing with that is like, basically, if 100 of y'all came to my crib this summer and only 3 of y'all made it out, the next 100 of y'all will be a fool to come to my house next summer because y'all don't know what happened to those people. So you use that same logic and common sense with the system to go, damn, if only 2 people in my whole family made it using this system, then what am I setting my children up for if I'm showing them the same exact thing? And bro, that double back to even when I created Unlearn and Relearn. Like, I think the time is more important than ever that we whitewash out the traditionalism, because if we look at our elders in the generations past, like, you're not gonna magically be the new version of the family. Like, this past Thanksgiving, it's people in this room that 3 generations of family sat at one table and got the same struggle. If y'all combine y'all ages, that's 150 years of wisdom. That should piss you off that all us in the same spot. We had 150 tries to get this right. 3-4 generations later, we all broke, we all struggling, we all in the same spot. That's an issue.
Let me tell you one of my favorite things about you is your outer appearance. Most people are gonna say, "Oh, I can't listen to this brother. He got tattoos."
Bro, I get that every day.
Right? But you are the perfect example of do not judge a book by its cover. You know, and too many times, a lot of times, while we get gunned down in the streets, you know, by other races that don't necessarily look like us but govern us as far as the policing, is because they truly do not understand the culture.
Absolutely.
Right? And so in not understanding the culture, you may take tattoos. Meanwhile, you got people that's in rock and roll that have tons of tattoos, but you don't see that as a threat, but you see it as a norm.
Right.
So the fact that, you know, you have all of the exterior tattoos, and I guess what you would peg as someone that's problematic, and when you speak, brother, Magnum cum laude at the Leeds from Harvard University, you know, so I definitely want to give you a round of applause for that right there, because so many of our young boys look like you, but you can still look like that and show that you can bring about change. So tell me about these tattoos, how you came about to get them.
All right, bro, the first one I got, it's an ancient symbol of strength. It's under my right eye over here. When I walked away from the workplace, I told myself that I would never go back. I don't know about y'all, but I deal with procrastination still at 29 to this day really bad. I perform at a very high level when my back is against the wall. So bro, I went and got that tattoo, and I started my business within that same week, and that was just my way of like pushing and forcing myself to perform at a high level. And I ain't gonna lie, like, it didn't hurt really at all. And then like within that week, I got 8 more. Then now I got 42 on my face. I just on my head, and I just went crazy after that. But that's how I got that first one, because I told myself the only way I would ever deal with corporate America again, it would have to be a partnership. But if I'm not the benefactor in the business deal with my children, we're not doing no business whatsoever, no conversation. You can just, you know, you can ball the paper up.
I noticed how that's dope. I noticed how you use your social media platform as a marketplace. There are a lot of people that you're about that you reach. This is my barber right here. He talks about you highly. My man Mario right there. You know what I mean? And how your social media platform is reaching people all over the world. I like to read your comments, what people say. What can you tell a crowd about using their social media platform as a way to generate revenue, as opposed to as just a place of gossip? And you know, we from Jersey, everybody know what the chat line is, right? Now, y'all know, if you from Jersey, you know the chat line and you know the loop. You know what I mean? So don't play.
Hey, bro, we had the chat line back in the day in Tampa.
Okay, so
like you can just call him.
yeah, this is what you call it. Yeah, this fly guy, you know what I mean? This is that. So I look at social media as a digital version of that.
Absolutely.
But you know, you using your platform as a way to educate. And to me, with things like YouTube and other platforms, it's almost like Cliff Notes. Remember when we had Cliff Notes back in the day? You could almost speed your way through life, you know what I mean, or through a subject matter. I noticed that you use yours like that. How can other people utilize it in a way to get that?
Gotcha. All right, I'm gonna give you a couple of steps. Number one, social media is nothing more than commercial space. Y'all have to really utilize it with that mindset, that mind frame. So, bro, you are rarely, like, any issues or gripes I have, I rarely bring them to the ground, because that's not the place for that. McDonald's will never post a commercial talking about how they're going through issues with China with the tariffs. Like, they would never post that. So number one, people got to utilize that commercial space for what it is. Number two, like, social media gives you reach to people all around the world. So again, it's just another reason to use it wisely. Number three, stop hustling just during your time zone. I know so many people on the East Coast that their business shut down when they go to bed. But they forget like the West Coast popping, other countries is popping, XYZ. If you got a business, I urge all of y'all to find some type of auto post app that can get busy while you down. So I know a lot of y'all probably see my page and be like, bro, don't sleep. I don't. I'm not a big sleeper, but I do have an app though that be working with me and we working at the same time. So sometimes that's not even, it's my post, but we scheduled it 12 hours ahead. So I'm on a plane or I'm with my children.
Like free game.
I'm on a plane or I'm with my children or I'm doing something else, but my social media is still rolling. What's one of them? Give me a second. I gotta look at my phone. I can't remember the time. Another one is what was the other one? It's on the tip of my tongue. All right, y'all. Moving visuals get 600% more traction than still pictures. I know some of y'all be shy of the camera, but we're living in an era where the attention span is extremely low. Technology is extremely fast. People don't want to see still pictures consistently. If you're too shy to get in front of the camera and promote your business, pay somebody to do it. Number 4, you need to create an advertising and marketing budget for your business. When you get a strong enough marketing machine, the machine will run without you. You can literally take a week off and your money gonna look the same because that machine, whether it be Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, is still running without you. Number 5, influencer marketing is a big thing. I know maybe a year or 2 ago, people used to be big on paying for shout outs. Be mindful about who you paying to shout you out. Some people, their demographic don't care about what you're talking about whatsoever. So you gotta be very, I don't care if they got 30 million followers. Be mindful about who you paying for exposure. I give you a prime example. I know a young lady, she's like an IG model. And she had another young lady that wanted to sell hair care products on her page. But she forgot to inform that lady that 89% of her following was males. Because she looked good as hell, so that's why I'm men follow. But none of the men want hair care products. So just be influencer marketing to me is stronger than actual machine marketing now. But still be mindful about who you go through because the message that you're giving out may not, it may not go well with their demographic and you still gonna find yourself with no sales. One more thing I wanna say, in business, if you got a product or a service, it don't matter, incentivize. People like the feeling of getting something for nothing or getting something for free. So you raise your price point to a level that you can still afford it or you can still handle it, but you incentivize it by saying, hey, what is it? It's right now it's 8:49. If I wanted to say, hey, everybody that grab an in-home banking board game from 9 to 10 p.m., you're gonna get a digital copy of the in-home banking curriculum on the house. That's an email. That costs us nothing to send. That's gonna cost us 15 seconds to send. But just think about it. A lot of y'all have older or younger relatives that come in the house and you be like, why did you even buy that? That's not something you use. And they be like, well, shit, it was free. I had to get it. So have that same mindset when you out there approaching consumers. They like the feeling of free or getting something for nothing.
Well, you definitely the pioneer as far as I guess you could say a urban Milton Bradley for us as far as these games that you came out with. This Monopoly right there. I would buy that if I didn't know you at all. I would buy that just because I'm like, let me see what this is about. These people look like me or my cousins. How did you say, you know what, I want to do a board game?
All right, bro. All right, anybody ever took any of the in-home banking courses? Okay, we got a couple people in. So look, this is what I noticed, right, through 2017 and 18. And I appreciate y'all, everybody that took those courses too. When it got to the completion of the class, a lot of people really didn't do the homework and the lessons, right? So I was like, damn, it's great that y'all paid. It's great that we do these live streams that we talk. That's cool, but are y'all really applying the information?
Cool.
But bro, and I was telling you this earlier, one of the conversations I had with David Banner, one of the most important ones I had is he told me, he was like, D, a lot of that stuff you kicking, people not going to understand for 10 to 15 years. You got to meet your people where they at sometimes. You got to be able to go to their level and speak in their lingo. So last year, October, I'm sitting and I'm like, damn, I still feel like people not grasping the concept.
Right.
But I know, I love my people, but I know one thing about my people, they like entertainment. They overly in love with entertainment. So I'm like, what's like a medicine and a candy method that we can get to trick people into thinking it's a game, but it's really not. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Anybody that got the game, you got your tracking number. By technicality, it is a game, but it's really not a game. This board game teaches about land patents, the difference between driving and traveling. Some of y'all get what I'm saying right now because y'all know the difference between driving and traveling and the corporate. What'd you say, bro?
That's heavy.
Yeah, bro. So a lot of people think they finna just roll some dice and get a competitive game. Absolutely not what they finna get. But I had to word it that way because I understood If I want to trick them and force them into getting this information, let's dress it up. Let's make it colorful. Let's make it for the family. But bro, I'm gonna tell you my personal opinion, like more so speaking on the family. If I get an 8-year-old to grasp that information in the game, bro, he's gonna be dangerous by the time he's 12. Because that's stuff that 40-year-olds don't know. It's a lot of people don't know the difference between driving and traveling, licensing, just all that stuff, bro. So that was really why I made it a boy, because I was like,
which is your natural born right if you're gonna do the homework.
Right.
The whole thing is you have to do the homework, and that was one of the things that President Obama did. It allowed you to claim your nationality. A lot of people don't even know what that is.
Right.
Do your homework, do your research. A lot of people, front and say, "Yeah, I want to be Indian." You, as who you are right now, you have a lot of monies that's available to you, but you're not going to do your homework. I always talk about when you go to work, everybody got to get to work on time. Well, no, I can't go out. I got to get up 30 minutes. But on the weekends that you have off, you're getting up at 4 in the afternoon, you're chilling. You're going to get up on time for somebody else, but wake up late on your time.
right.
Like, you got to understand that. You need a college degree to work for a business, but you don't need a college degree to start a business. I always talk about the acronym POUR, passing over opportunities repeatedly. And I create these opportunities, all of these people that's in your room, everybody's looking at their clock, the game is about to start 10 minutes. No matter what, these boys, they rich if they win or lose. What's your championship team look like? I know what my team look like. So I'm asking you, what's your championship team look like? It don't matter if you grew up with somebody, that's your aunt, that's your cousin. If they not on that same frequency, come back for them. You ain't fronting on them, you're not doing this. I'm 37. You know how many of my friends are like, oh man, you ain't going to the club, you're not getting no haircut. By the time I was 24, I had already owned 5 properties. I'm telling all my friends, a lot of them in this room, I'm telling you, Newark is where it's at. It's 15 minutes from Manhattan. They're like, man, we're about to go to Summer Jam. Don't worry. I'm hot, but I'm buying properties. I'm buying properties because that is the true way that you fight gentrification.
Absolutely.
You know, within the last 11 years, with others, I was able to purchase over 105 properties in county. How many people in this room today?
More than 100.
We're going to pull out the calculators. We're going to do a little math. What's 100 people times $10,000? Everybody got $10,000. I'm going to show you how you got it. You just playing with it. That's $1 million in this room if everybody put up $10,000. But it's really $10 million because with funding, you're able to leverage. Because that's all how banks work. When the bank gives you some money, people, I hear them on the phone, oh my goodness, girl, the bank just gave me some money. I'm like, bro, the bank is supposed to give you money. Like my product is liquor on the shelf, the bank's product is money. If it's not going out, the bank is losing money. That's the number one thing you gotta understand. It don't matter if you got a 500 credit score, if you don't know nothing. 10 of y'all times a 500 credit score is what? 5,000. That means 500 people could go buy whatever they want. I posted the other day how right there on Springfield Avenue, Exxon gas station was for sale. It's $1 million. And when you do commercial loans, they're allowed to hold 10% of paper. So that means you only got to come out of pocket 10%. So for $100,000, we could own the gas station. $100,000. That's 10 people putting up 10,000. That means cutting off your cable, stop buying bottles, selling a couple of those red bottoms. Girls, get your hair braided. Let's do it then. You know what I mean? We are doing it. We are doing it. There's a lot. We got this program called Earn While You Learn. Earn While You Learn was a program put together because people be like, you know what? I want you to mentor me. Hold on a second. Ain't no time to mentor. It's time that everybody grab their shovel, put it together. We own all of these things together. Everybody have equal ownership. Because you look at these abandoned properties all day long. What you turn your nose at, New Yorkers is coming up and buying them. I taught everybody that these vacant lots that you could get for $25,000, $50,000, take a trip right up there to upstate New York or Scranton, Pennsylvania. You got modular home companies, which allows you to be an overnight expert builder. Within 12 hours, a brand new property can be erected. So the lots that you're looking at, that you see all types of debris, whatever it is that you can imagine, you can build a brand new house for $300,000 right now that's selling. Where my realtors at? Any realtors in the room? What's a new construction, 3-family going for in Newark? Brand new construction. $500,000.
500.
Right where somebody got shot at yesterday. This is real talk. So while you looking at it, you staying away, people are coming up and buying them. Because let me tell you, with violence, yeah, you have innocent bystanders, but 90% of the people that's in violence are usually in it. So you got people that's the same crime they dealing with in Bronx, Harlem, Brooklyn, and other parts. They know that Newark is 15 minutes outside of Manhattan. Manhattan, that geographical placement, that financial district, that Wall Street, makes this area so valuable. Anybody remember Hoboken 15 years ago? It's the new Hoboken, huh? It's the new Hoboken. So some of these vanilla boxes that you see going around these storefronts, snatch them up. Some of these apartments that's downtown, 4-yard, get them, turn them into Airbnbs. Airbnb killed the hotel industry. If you look online, there's a bunch of brand new hotels you can snatch for $1 million, $1.5 million. What you do? Partner up with the federal government through FEMA. FEMA is paying top dollar to house people that are hurricane victims, natural disaster victims. You know how many natural disasters happening across the country? Study the news. 2 weeks ago, I had put up the federal budget of how much money was available on a vending level. It was billions. Why would you go after a job when the government is giving billions of dollars out? When you understand how the government works, it's laws set in place and for regular people to snatch these things down. But who has their MBE? Who has their WMBE status? Who's repairing their credits? I see you, Ben. Ben, you got all of that. So my man Ben right there, raise your hand, because he said I have both of them. So a brother like that who has both of them, he'll teach you how to do it. If you have some of these things, teach the next person. Talk to me about your relationship with Nick and how he was able to inspire you in some of the things that you're doing currently.
I stumbled across him. This is before we met, before we knew each other. I stumbled across him in like 08 or 09. Around the Bullets Ain't Got No Name series, and those was coming out. Bro, to be real, for probably like 6-7 years, I was just a student of his, like from afar. Like we had never met. And then like as I progressed in my situation, we had people in common that would just run past me and say certain things like, "Hey, Nip said this, Nip said that, X, Y, Z." But when we finally got to meet, yeah, bro, when was that? That was like a year or two ago. Well, no, prior to that, he had came on the site and he grabbed some curriculums.
Okay.
And he got an uncommon name. I remember the night I seen the name, I'm like, oh, is that Nip? And then I seen All Money In on the address. I'm like, oh yeah, that's definitely Nip.
Felt good
So
like that.
yeah. So we talked that next day. I hit him, we had talked. It was brief. But then we finally got to meet. Bro, he just told me how he was proud of me and the things that I was putting out there and teaching and whatnot was helping him to be a better pops. And he was like, man, I got to get Imani down to Florida so Derrick can go play with them guns and whatnot, yada, yada, yada.
Right.
And then, but outside of that, bro, just in terms of inspiration, I'll be real with y'all. My first book, it's over there. It's that's an autobiography, the black one, the big thick one, like 700 pages. That first book I put on Amazon, right? And I started noticing like the splits with Amazon was like 40%. I remember sitting over there, I was like, Amazon ain't helped me write none of this story. They ain't shoot nobody with me when I had my shooting. They wasn't broke with me. They ain't help me raise these kids solo. Like, they ain't do nothing for me at all. Why am I giving them 40%? I remember sitting, and again, like, these type of things he inspired. Because, like, when I say student role, I really listened to him and studied him since the day that I heard his first song. And I remember telling myself, I was like, this is what we're going to do. We're going to build a platform up. We're going to double back, snatch all our stuff off Amazon and sell it independently. So what I did moving forward, bro, is like my books don't even have ISBN numbers no more. If y'all don't know, an ISBN number is like a social security number for your book. You can Google it and it'll tell you exactly where the book located. I purposely stripped my books to ISBN so there's no middleman. You gotta go through me, which means my family and myself get 100% of the proceeds. You can't find my book anywhere else. Wow. So for me, bro, the risk was like, cause Amazon got a good ring to it. Like, I'm a book on Amazon, I'm an author on Amazon. So to be real with you, bro, like the situation worked out beautifully. In 2016, my second book came out. I sold so many copies in that weekly cycle, I hit #1. So I became a #1 selling author through Amazon, right? We jumped back. We jumped back 2 months later. I'm like, boom, my platform hit like 60K. I got the #1 selling author title. Now it's time to strip everything down. We stripped everything down, remove all the ISBNs, and then like not forcing a negative way, but if somebody want to support me, the consumer got to go directly to my platform and spend that bread with me. So the risk was like, put it like this: if I run past somebody, be like, yeah, my book on DerrickGrace2.com. That's easier than forget the Amazon. People like my book on Amazon. Like everybody know Amazon. Right. But I was like, bro, I don't care about the relevance. I don't care about the #1 paper and plaques. It's about the points. And I say by the time, like the game is about points. Yep. Far too many of us get caught up in the highlights. They want to dunk on somebody on Friday on ESPN, but you ain't got no rings. Did you win the series? So my thing be like, what's your point system? Like can you make anything move? Do you control anything? X, Y, Z. So, bro, that was one of the biggest lessons I took from him. And like current day, I get royalty checks on each of my books, each of my curriculums. I'm gonna be the last person to lie to you and tell you like my royalty checks be $1,000 a month. It's 11 different projects and they range from $200 to $500 per month per project. But bro, if you times that up by a month, just like passive income for money that we don't even promote or ask for, that's like $70,000 on the back end that just come in the mail. Besides what we out in the streets doing. Another thing, bro. Another thing too, why this event was so major, I don't know if y'all know, but I don't let people book me. Like I turned down bookings. I'm gonna be real too. I told my assistant, I was like, hey, I think this year I'm gonna start letting people book me again.
Okay. Wait, so you gotta at least show me love. Be like, Ben, crack that open through Newark, right?
So like, look, for the last 2 years, y'all, I booked myself independently. Like we contact the venues, we cover the travel, and we collect everything as a family. So like even cross country, I did London in August. We did everything independently. I'm not gonna lie. It's not always the most polished and most pretty process, but
it's your process.
It's my process, and we control everything. And I ain't gonna lie, bro. I just like being in control of my destiny and my situation. So, nah, bro, like it's a gang of things I learned from him. But one more thing, bro, is vertical integration.
That's right.
That's something Nick spoke on a year or two ago, and I ran with it immediately, right? So this is what a lot of people still ain't peeps. From each book, the curriculum to the board game, I purposely incorporated my children on everything. What that basically means is that my children's face alone, you gotta know their names. Their likeness and their face alone has grown to such a level that if I left right now, Derrick can produce a kite tomorrow with her face on it that would still move just based off the relevance that her father pushed into the ground while he was here.
That's right.
So basically, we create these systems across market to where like the children will venture off and start their own. Like, well, they already had one, but they're gonna venture out. They had a lemonade stand in vending machine some years ago. But I got a new project I'm working on with Derrick. I can't share it prematurely because it's a major project.
That means it's coming.
But I got a project I'm working on with her, bro. Like just with a vertical integration of where like it's a one-stop shop to when people hit the platform, the whole family will eat independently.
That's right.
And my thing too is like with us as parents and leaders, we gotta stop just teaching our children to be consumers. Meaning like we go run, get the money, we bring it back, and all we teach them how to do is this. So for me, bro, I train all my children, even down to my 2-year-olds, as much as I can. But I train everybody to like get on their independent level right now. Ride the wave of your father. Like I'm the quarterback. I'm gonna get y'all to the end zone. I just need you to catch the ball and like before you look up, it'll be the Wayne's Family, new version, but just in a different lane of board games, education, curriculums, and books. But bro, like from every book, like to the first one, you know, we recreated the death row image. If you see that first one over there, the black and white one. But
I see it.
And on the other black, we did the same thing. But for everything, bro, I incorporate I practice inclusion with everything. And I tell by the time like win, lose, or draw, I keep my children with me. So whether we get a big old bag of money, whether we lose a big old bag of money, they're always practice inclusion. And two, for me, like I'd rather them learn the ropes right now as a youngin'.
Correct.
So by the time like I'm gonna just be real with you, like they got the independent spirit already. Like my daughters, none of them never been to daycare or school, period. They've been homeschooled. Wow. So like they don't even, I'm not gonna say like they hate structure, but they're not even interested in that structure at all. If somebody telling them what they work, what to do, X, Y, Z. They headstrong. Like we bump heads at times, they headstrong, but I love it. I wouldn't change nothing.
What about the social aspect? I know a lot of people, you know, who do homeschooling. They talk about the social aspect. How do you bridge that gap?
Bro, to be honest, I think people use that social line because that's the only line they can think of. That's the only thing they use. Look, think about this in terms of social. How many people we know that we went to high school with that are paid analysts, weathermen, or sportscasters? Not many.
Correct.
So what did being excessively social really do for us? Most of us not even friends with them same people no more who we talk to 7 days a week, 5 days a week while we was in school. Right. So I tell you at the time, like, think about this, right? The dude who made these iPhones, he was an introvert.
That's right.
He said to himself, he built his business, I think it was in his mama's garage, I believe. Building his business in his garage, taking solo trips to Asia, not Asia, to India to go do acid. Like, the man didn't want to be bothered with people. But he created a thing that make everybody get in touch with everybody. So for me, bro, it's that social thing, bro, I think people just, it's the cliche one, it's the biggest one, like, well, what about their social skills? And then even with homeschool, bro, they have homeschool communities and things where you can take your children during the day, the weekend or whatever, to interact with other children. So, no, bro, ain't nothing to it but to do it.
You know what's beautiful about what you said about utilizing your children and their image and building wealth is, we kind of utilize our children too, but in the hood, what do? Well, we gotta put that cable under your name. We gotta put that PSC&G under your name. Every time a child is born in the United States, they are issued a social security number. Macaulay Culkin made money before he was 18 years old, right? That means that he had to pay taxes. Same thing with you. I always talk about how do you clone? You clone by you allowing your children to be an authorized user on your credit card. You build up their credit. Exactly. Once you build up their credit, you create a business under their name. Then you build that business credit. So you got your child, their business, your business, and your personal self. So that means if you got one child and it's just you, for single mothers, single fathers, that means right there is already 4 of you. So the first time I bought properties, I bought them off credit cards. I ain't had nobody to give me no loans. I ain't do none of that. I ran up those credit card bills because I knew there was so much equity in these properties that I would be able to pay myself back. So if you could utilize your children for credit purposes, for PSC&G and other things that shouldn't be under their names, you should also utilize their credit to be able to build up a wealth for them. By the time my kids graduate, they each gonna own a liquor license and they each gonna have 2 houses. Easy, that's their college. So if you decide to go to college, and I didn't go to college, and being Haitian, my parents like, you ain't going to college. They're like, yo, we fought to get all the way over here, trying to jump on a couple boats and all of that. I'm like, I'm not going to college because I knew what I wanted to do. So they didn't have the experience of saying, hey, you know, you should purchase a property. They put all of this money, and I don't mind it was in private school for me to have the knowledge that I have now. But you got to understand, most of these kids, they see money so fast as how you can make it, how you can create one app and be a billionaire. So the need for going to college is not as prevalent as it was for us. You know what I mean? The need for it, now you don't even got to go to college to make it into professional sports. You understand? So have that set for your children for you to be able to buy a house with them. If you're going to buy video games, buy stocks in those companies with the video games. What are some of the other things you do for your children?
You mean in terms of business?
As far as business, you know I want to talk about how they put together the things.
I mean, well, yeah, that's one of the biggest ones. Like, I believe in being proactive.
Correct.
And I practice what's called preventative maintenance. So, like, my thing is, like, the world gonna give y'all children a crash course. It's up to you to have them prepared for it or not. But you're like, you can shadow them as best you want. You can shelter them. It's not gonna work. Whether it be the homies, the homegirls, the teachers, the police, the news, like, somebody is going to attempt to infiltrate them and be their biggest influence. And I think what a lot of parents struggle with because of their pride and their ego, they don't want to admit that this is a competition. This is a race. Like, some people have an instant sense of entitlement that, like, I control the show, you gonna listen to me because I birthed you. No, like, it's a gang y'all in who y'all mama told y'all don't go out and y'all snuck out the window. A young lady was able to convince you to jump out of the window and your mama told you don't go nowhere. The same thing with the lady. So that's a prime example that, like, there will be outside forces who are gonna attempt to influence them. So for me, big bro, with the guns, especially in Florida, we live in a, that's a stand your ground state. And we got the castle doctrine. So
what
to
is
me,
that? The castle doctrine?
Basically, like, you just got to be mindful even when you're approaching somebody's dwelling, whether it be vehicle or home. Like, it's just really easy to get shot in Florida.
He just broke it down right there.
You just have to be very, very mindful. So for me, with my children, I like to educate them on firearms.
Yeah.
And then I shot somebody in front of Derrick. So I felt like that it was absolutely only right to teach her about firearms since she saw me use one in front of her. But no, bro, I've been teaching her since she was 3 and Derrick was 6, and she just turned 8 Saturday. And he'll be 11 in August.
Now, most people look at it like, oh, look at this black guy teaching these kids about guns, yada, yada. When you go to gun ranges now, anybody been in the gun range? Anybody see kids in the gun range? What kind of kids in the gun range? It's everybody but black kids.
Yeah.
And the fact that you did it in a responsible way, because let's be honest, you can shelter your kids, but when you live in a city that's next to a port, guns is going to get in here anyway.
Right.
So the fact that you teaching them the responsible way, the licensing, etc., how to break down the machinery so they don't shoot themselves, because so many, even parents who legally have guns in the house, you hear a lot of tragic stories because you were shielding your children from those weapons.
Yeah, bro, and education takes away the curiosity. Like, it gets to a point where they be so educated on it, it's not interesting. Like, you know, some kids you can sit a gun and they're gonna be like, but my kids is gonna be like, oh, all right, what we finna eat, what we doing today, X, Y, Z. So I know when they educated on it, it takes away, it takes away that curiosity aspect that causes a lot of accidents, a lot of incidental.
And they'll be able to tell the difference as far as their friends that have a lot of guns, even if they're not in the guns, they know how to protect themselves.
Right, bro, that's the big one, because a lot of people don't know. And not speaking in a negative manner, but some of y'all children are gonna get first introduced to a handgun hanging with his homeboy. He gonna be at the house, he gonna be like, hey, my pops got a pistol, you wanna see it? That's gonna be their first introduction. And that's when that education comes in, and they be like, oh no, bro, you holding that wrong. Trigger control, don't point it at me. X, Y, D, this is how you do this, is how you do that.
Right. Oh, that's clean business right there.
Yeah.
Now, you just broke it down because most people just look at you like, you know, my man got tattoos, he a madman. And right there, brother, you definitely not a madman. I want to open up the floor to a couple of questions. That young lady had her hands up first. The price is right.
On firearms, I have it's a two-part question. In terms of firearms, how do we, because Florida is a free state, you can get guns and firearms, I should say, quite easily, versus in the state of New Jersey where it's a process and you have to meet with your precinct officer and everything. Every municipality is different in the state of New Jersey.
Absolutely.
However, there's not many people that look like me that are out there getting their FIDs, firearm purchaser IDs. Now, how do we get everybody, our community, how do we get our people to break, like, how do we get down to getting that information out there, demystifying that fear of getting that FID?
I think for sure, like, events like these will open up the floor, but I'm gonna tell you, like, one of the biggest things I learned is that, like, we can't force things on people. They have to want them, and at the same time, they gotta want it on their time. And I tell everybody, it's like, it's casualties of every war. It's some people I love that's not gonna make it to the next place I'm headed in life, and that's because they made a decision just to not either heed the advice I gave them or to put in an equal amount or more work. But in terms of that, this is my biggest thing. I feel like when you speaking or you exuberate a certain energy, you're gonna attract certain people. So I think for you, I would say to just stay consistent in what you're doing and what you're trying to educate people on. And those who really rocking with you, they're gonna pull up on you. Like, somebody in this room that really wanna know about it, they'll pull you to the side and be like, hey, how I do that? Me and my son wanna do that, X, Y, Z. But even what I do with my platform, I just put the information out there. For the people that want to debate, they get ignored, X, Y, Z. But for the people who are ready to ride and like, let's do it, those are the ones I'm moving with.
And then in terms of farming and growing your own food and sustainability with, so we're not dependent on fast food and other unhealthy or corporate food, I should say, that isn't geared for our sustenance, for our nourishment. Right. How do we get, is there anything in your curriculum, if you will, that's going to outline those challenges?
I plan on doing something towards that next year, because like I want to open a community garden in my city to where people can just stroll by, grab what they want to keep it moving. But I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm a person that I don't believe in speaking on things I'm not educated on. And as you can tell, like, I haven't fully tapped into my healthy side. I'm gonna let somebody in here who probably better at that. I'm gonna let them knock that question out.
Alright, I'm gonna try to answer that question. We have to at least purchase our own supermarkets. You don't even know what you're buying, who you're buying from. You know what I'm saying? We live in a microwave society. We want everything instantly. Right now, people talking about, oh, I want change. I'm going to protest. Man, listen, you don't even know how to get rid of your own waste. If there was a government shutdown and they say, you know what, we ain't picking up no garbage, most people don't even know what compost is. Most people don't even know that we live in the coast and you're able to dig a certain amount to be able to get to fresh water. So when you talk about schools and some of these things, what are they teaching you as far as being a human being? The reason we think everything is sweet is because we got somebody cutting our grass, paving the roads. Let everybody get sick for a little while and nobody do that. You'll find out that you living in the jungle, you got mosquitoes this big. So don't be reactive, be proactive. Start buying some of these gas stations like I mentioned. Start buying some of these supermarkets that's available. Get with these realtors. There's a lot of commercial that you'll be able to get into, and then you can go right there to Rutgers School of Business, and they have the SBDC, I think that's the acronym, but basically the Small Business Administration that will help you get these grants for you to do that. The problem is there's only a couple of things we like to do. Oh, I want to do real estate, or I want to sell cars, or I want to open up a laundromat, or I want to open up a barbershop. That's really where our entrepreneurial skills kind of really stop at. We need to be able to see how do we truly feed ourselves. Not necessarily because, oh, I want to get away from this person. Nah, you should just be able to control that. How many times do they tap into the water system and no one even asks? Like, it's only in urban communities that somebody can come in, pull up the manhole and just go underground. In your community, on your street, you don't even ask what they're doing. You don't even care. You can't have that. Why? Because your children are drinking that water. Your children are eating that food. So a lot of these bodegas that are shutting down, you complaining, or the Chinese store, whatever you complain about, you can buy, the same way you had Neighborhood Watch, is the same way you can buy these things as a collective. It's easy. It don't cost that much if you're doing it as a unit. So to me, that's the answer as far as anything that you want to do, as far as, your health, opening up gyms and things like that. All I like to teach is everything that you see around you, you're able to do it. These franchises, you can buy them as a team. You only got to put 20% down. Take 5 people that's like-minded. That's why I create these rooms. Everybody in this room want to win, right? Yes. I mean, can I get win on 3? I done bought this. Anybody want to win? So imagine that energy translating. All of us go inside of Wells Fargo and be like, oh, we all want to open up an account here and we need a certain amount of money because we know y'all stealing. And Wells Fargo got a lot of money right now. They got a class action lawsuit. And nobody's actually going to claim some of that money because you're too busy. You're too busy. They got a lot of money that's made for you that you're not going after. Next question. You got a question, brother? Oh, you forgot it.
No, I got it. I just want to go back. They say you're only a fool if you ask. You're a fool forever if you don't ask. So that's right. I want to go back to the double tap, that travel and driving thing. I want to understand that.
So basically, like, a lot of people haven't just picked up on the fact that, like, America's a corporation. Like, our barcode is our social security number. So, like, licenses and automobiles are the same. Like, it's even the type of paperwork you can fill out. I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but y'all don't have to go through insurance companies to insure your car.
That's right.
One of y'all in here might know it. I can't remember off the top of my head, but...
You talking about UCC?
That, bro,
that's part of it. That is part of it. But you can also bond yourself, like this brother is talking about. The fact that you have a heartbeat, if you get rid of certain, I would say, barriers, you're able to actually borrow money directly from the Federal Reserve, because you being alive, there's a certain amount of money that you're worth just as a human being in this country. But too many times, like, the bank acts as a middle person to get the money on your behalf and then lend you the money, and you don't even need that. That's why so many people, if you notice, there was during Obama's last term and the stimulus money you was talking about, There's people that they still can't take their houses and they're not making any mortgage payments because of the way certain documents was formulated and put together. So you got to take time to do the homework. If you don't like to read, get an